Vamos y caballeros, este nuevo de 4 de base es YouTube Sensation. El excelente, el hombre del cirujano de sombrero, shintigercurl. Sorry, had to do that since this is my first video doing this. Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another wrestling video. First one, I really should have done this a while ago, but never found the time nor the proper reason to do it, but today I found a reason to. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Lucha Underground. You haven't heard of Lucha Underground? Where the fuck have you been? Well, anyway, Lucha Underground is a wrestling promotion that's come out of the new El Rey Network. El Rey Network is sort of it's hard to put it in words. It's pretty much a network where you can watch old kung fu movies as well as old action movies. It's pretty much a movie watcher's movie thing. It's done by what was his Raj. I'm sorry if I can't remember his name. He's a major director. I'm sorry if I forgot his name. I'm just blanking on it right now. You've seen a lot of his work. But anyway, basically it's a network he started where it's basically original content, and a lot of it is most of it is like From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. Yes, they made a series based off Quentin Tarantino's movie. A few months ago, El Rey announced that it was going to do a new take on an old favorite, being Lucha Libre style wrestling, and that is Lucha Underground. Originally, I watched this for the simple reason that my boy, John Morrison, the Sex, was involved with it. After watching a couple of episodes, this is a very good alternative to the WWE. Now, Lucha Underground is only an hour-long show. It has no pay-per-views, and until recently, it had no belts. It was just in-ring action with some storylines. The storylines are what gives it flavor. It takes the standard storylines that you see in other professional wrestling promotions like the WWE, ROH, TNA, and elevates it to a level of almost soap opera-ish standards. I mean, you just have to see for yourself. It's cheesy, but also at the same time a breath of fresh air, because we're all so used to the WWE style of storytelling that this, excuse me, that's just my father entering. That's just a number of different. It's different, what I have to say. And it uses a lot of fresh faces. You really don't see that many older wrestlers in this, aside from guys in mentorship roles like our good friend Conan, K-Dog. You know him, the largest luchador ever. And another old favorite that you might remember from WCW, Vampiro. Yes, he is doing color commentary with one Matt Striker. Yes, the former school teacher turned professional wrestler turned color commentator. Now, say what you want about his in-ring work, Matt Striker is one of the best color commentators going out there in North America today. Certainly he is leagues above the dreck that we have to listen to from Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry the King Lawler. They're okay, but Striker brings a level of knowledge to the. He's always been very knowledgeable about professional wrestling, and it says so that he gets in his style. And it should tell you that at this year's Wrestle Kingdom 9, when they brought in Jim Ross to do English commentary, he also named another person to do comms with him, and that was Matt Striker. And Striker and Jim Ross did very good at Wrestle Kingdom 9. So the commentary is very good. The tempo gives you this almost underground feel, like sort of like ROH style. They call it the Temple. They have a live mariachi band, and it just seems like a place that's held in secret. But as for the talent, there's so much talent. There's a plethora of luchadors and even unmasked wrestlers, like your Johnny Mundos, your Big Ricks, or as you might call him, Ezekiel Jackson. Yes, this is where he went. The Crew. Who else? There's some new guys that just recently came in, so there's that. And a lot of luchadors as well, from the mysterious Mil Muertes to the dangerously hunter known as King Cuerno, to the high-flying Phoenix, to the mixed martial arts machine that is Pentagon Jr., Aerostar, and there's a plethora of different excuse me, there's just a plethora of different luchadors that you can get behind. But the biggest difference between this and the WWE, well, two differences. One, their women can wrestle more so than the main roster, most of the main roster of Raw and SmackDown. And two, the women get it just as much as the men. And when I mean get it, they wrestle the guys. And I'm not talking about them just slightly hitting each other. I mean the women, they get fucked up in these matches, which is refreshing. It just shows us that these ain't some dainty women. They will fight the men outright. I mean, one of the biggest feuds they had was Sexy Star versus Chavo Guerrero. And Chavo laid her out with a straight steel chair shot to the head. How many times have we seen in modern wrestling where a woman gets hit in the head with a fucking steel chair? But yeah, that's where Chavo went. Well, that's where he was until he left. What about tonight? Well, tonight's first matchup pitted Astro Aerostar versus Drago. Now Drago's got one weird tongue. I need to you have to see his tongue. It's disgusting yet mesmerizing. Like, how does he get his tongue like that? But yeah, this was an amazing matchup. The one thing I will say about these matches here in Lucha Underground, they're fantastic. They're average from good to great to amazing. Just a few weeks ago, to crown their first Lucha Underground champion, they had something called Aztec Warfare, which was like the Royal Rumble, but better. And you're asking yourself, shintigercurl, why are you saying that he's saying it's better than the Royal Rumble? It just is. Go look it up on YouTube. It's probably there. But yeah, Aerostar and Drago were trading wins back and forth. Aerostar picks up the victory after a very close, intense matchup when Spanish Vince McMahon, that's what I call him, decides to come out and says that he wants a best-of-5 series between the two of them, and the winner would get a special opportunity. You never know. What's next? In a very, very epic matchup, the Lucha Underground champion, Prince Puma, takes on the man they call Cage. Now, Cage made his debut a few weeks ago and attacked Prince Puma after his first title defense against, I think it was Pentagon Jr. Yeah, it was Pentagon Jr. and destroyed the Lucha Underground belt. And since then, he's been on a rampage. He's been beating the shit out of everybody. And he told Spanish Vince McMahon, I want a title shot. I don't care who's in charge. I beat the shit out of him. So Spanish Vince McMahon says, well, you're going to get your title shot, but first you have to earn it. And if you beat Prince Puma in a match, you get the shot. So tonight, it was Cage versus Prince Puma. It was an awesome match. Very awesome match. Cage is a fantastic talent. I liken him to a young Brock Lesnar, just a big beefy guy with a lot of in-ring talent. I mean, he is quick as a fucking cat, and he's very well-rounded for a guy his size. And another thing about Prince Puma is under the mentorship of Conan. Conan, who hadn't been seen since Cage beat the shit out of him, comes out and he hits something he calls Weapon X on Prince Puma, and Cage just says, hey, this is for you, and just starts beating the fuck out of him Brock Lesnar style until Conan had to throw in the towel. So Cage is now the #1 contender to the Lucha Underground title. Let's see, what's a good match. Another one was a quote of a squash match between some guy I'd never heard of versus Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr.'s thing is that he's supposedly the ultimate fighting machine. I mean, he had even a promo video where he was fighting against multiple fighters, not wrestlers, fighters of multiple disciplines, like a Muay Thai fighter, then a kickboxer, and a kung fu fighter, and even a capoeira fighter. Yeah, someone's doing capoeira, and he was just beating their asses while cutting his promo like, I take what is necessary and beat the shit out of them, and I am Pentagon Jr. Zero Mero. That's his thing, Zero Mero, no fear. And he's been coming out and breaking news arms for his master. We don't know who his master is. A lot of people say it could be Vampiro, but I don't know. I might be missing a match here, so please forgive me. I wasn't expecting to do a review of this. The final match was between King Cuerno versus Johnny Mundo, or John Morrison for you American fans. Now, the past couple of weeks, King Cuerno, who has this stick that he's something like a bestial hunter, and he's been stalking Johnny Mundo and getting involved in his matches. Tonight will be the first time Cuerno and Mundo would face off, and this was an amazing, amazing match that, of course, ended in a double countout. But that didn't stop them from beating the ever-loving shit out of each other for the last 10 minutes of the show. You thought that brawl between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan was something last week? This brawl shits on them. Like, literally. It's like they took a dump and said, you call that a pull-apart brawl? Here. That's a pull-apart brawl. But yeah, this was a good match. I'm glad it ended in the way that it did, because for a feud like this that's been going on for a while, it didn't need to have one of them go over on the other just yet. It needs to be even, and hopefully their next encounter will be a little bit more. It's getting intense. That's what I'm going to say. But overall, this was a good show. Now, a lot of you are saying that you're tired of the WWE, that you're not going to watch it anymore. You canceled your subscriptions. But I'm just saying, this is an alternative. Sure, it's only an hour-long show once a week, but it is an alternative. If you want to see good quality wrestling from young superstars, young wrestlers and luchadors that most of you never heard of, some of you've heard of but never got to see, this is it. Lucha Underground it can be silly at times, but it's a good kind of silly. You will enjoy it if you're a fan of wrestling or lucha libre style action. Get in it. And also, recently, El Patron, Alberto Del Rio, made his debut there. As you know, El Patron, or Alberto Del Rio, has pretty much become the most famous Mexican wrestler in America, if not the world. He's been everywhere. Now he's the current AAA World Champion, and he's also facing off against Jay Lethal this Sunday at Ring of Honor for the ROH television title, and now he's on Lucha Underground. So if you're fiending for some El Patron, you can come here and watch him. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Lucha Underground. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll answer them, and I'll reply to any comments that are left behind, as long as they're smart and reasonable. No troll comments. So, until next time, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good night, and lucha.